This week, hopefully we will conclude our little mini-series of working on past projects, getting some of this garbage sort of roadworthy once again. Yep, got a little knick-knack bullcrap stuff that's, well, it makes it aggravating to want to drive it. If stuff in this video seems a little out of place, out of order, well, it's because it is. Last week's video and this week's video were supposed to be one per usual. I thought I could fit more content into 1 hour than is humanly possible, so I had to split them up. And things in the first, 20, 25 minutes, they may seem a little out of place. Anyways, enough talking. Let us get busy, get some of this garbage back ready for the road. Got this old pile of garbage here now, and per usual, something's broke on it. Remember the trouble we had with this stupid little fitting here leaking? Well, see all the gasolines in the intake? Yep, it's still leaking. Let me see if I can't figure that out, and then we'll get it in there, and we'll see if we can't make it idle a little bit better too. Well, I got the pile of garbage in here because I could not get that to quit leaking. There's the carb there. I was wanting to let it warm up and then show y'all what it was doing. It's doing the opposite of the 40. You hit it with a carb cleaner and it'll die instead of rev up. When you got a big old cam, usually they'll want to run rich at idle, and you got to take care of that. But I've got to get a fuel feed system before we can do anything else. Here's what's going on. Here's a little line that I made. You probably can't see it, but right here on this side, it's got a line there that's weird looking. Well, that's why it won't seal up, because this, it fits in here, and then that's what this goes in here and seals up against. Well, this part is messed up. You probably can't see it either because of this camera, but it's messed up on this side due to these lines right here being so hard that you got to just crank them down to get them to seal. Well, when you do that, it messes these up. If you ever see some of these right here and you think, you know what, I think I'll buy some of them, slap yourself in the face with a baseball bat, come to your senses, and then don't buy them. Walk away from them. Shun them like they are the plague because they're garbage. Anyways, I've got to figure out a fuel feed system, and, well, once I do that, it's going to be time to quit. So let me see what I can do with that, and then tomorrow we'll see if we can't get this thing to idle. Well, I've spent half the day yet again running around town. Actually, been running around 2 separate towns, getting parts and supplies and knickknacks and whatnots, so we can work on this junk I got. Got a battery for the old Jolly Green Giant. I'd stole the battery out of the four-wheelie drive to put in it. Well, then I put it back in the four-wheelie drive, and it's sitting there with no battery. That really aggravates me when I want to drive something but I can't. Well, that's why we're doing this video. Fixing this stuff that either keeps me from driving them or makes me not want to drive them because it's aggravating. Anyway, got a battery for it. Then I went to Harbor Freight and got this little drill set for the Forte. It starts at number 60 drill. Well, it's got a little chart over here. We are at 43, I think. So we can go 46 and a half, 52. What is that, 55, I think. I will continue to work on that 40 off camera. Fellas, I can't spend a whole video just drilling holes in the carburetor. No, can't do that. I did drive the Forte around town today, though, and it did mucho better. Oh, yeah. Normally, if I stop at a red light or whatever, I'll have to be pumping the gas just to keep him running, never touch the gas. No, so it idles normally at about 800. Sometimes it'll creep up to 1,000, 1,100, but then usually it'll drop back down. It will keep on running when I turn it off. Sometimes it'll do it for half a second. Sometimes it'll do it for 5 seconds. That lets me know that we still got the butterflies open too much, so we need to keep on doing what we're doing. I will do that off camera, though, but yes, trust me, it's a lot better. It was actually enjoyable to drive. After that, I went to O'Reilly's, and I got fittings to do this fuel line setup. And this, I guarantee you ain't gonna leak. Nope. Is it pretty? Nope. But it ain't gonna leak. And that's my main goal. I'm tired of fooling with this thing leaking all the time. From now on, my Holly fuel inlet is gonna be just like this right here. Maybe a little prettier because this is kind of crooked, but it's gonna serve its purpose. All it is, in case y'all want to build the same thing, you got an inverted flare T, 3/8. The threads are 5/8, 18. Well, then you got a tube nut, same thing, 3/8 tubing, 5/8, 18 threads. You got another one here, you got two there. Make your lines, flare them, bend them, put them on. Then this piece here is just 3/8 hose. Slip it on there and put a clamp on it, and that's it. I guarantee you that ain't gonna leak. Anyway, speaking of this carb, here's what we want to do to it now. It won't idle. It's had trouble idling ever since I built the thing because of that ginormous cam. Well, I harkened back to my LT1 days, back in the day when I was really into the LT1 stuff, and I got to thinking, them fellers, they put a big old cam in one of them Trans Am or Camaros. Well, they would have to drill holes in the throttle blades on the throttle body to get it to idle. And it's the same thing on this carb. I got to searching, to refresh my memory. Same thing on the carb. When you put a big cam in, it needs more air. And you come in here, let's see, next to the idle port, drill you a hole in each blade. We're going to start with probably 50 thousandths. It'll let it get it a little more air, and hopefully that stupid thing will start idling. I'll tell you what. Let me look and see. I'm trying to see the transfer ports, and I don't even see them uncovered. Well, that's because you're looking at the wrong end, you big dummy. I will take a picture of the transfer port and point to it with an arrow, but the throttle blades are open way too much. That's due to me trying to keep the thing idling. And just like on the 40, when you open your throttle blades too much and expose too much transfer slot, then that makes it run on like it does. And well, you look like an idiot when you cut it off and it just keeps on running. Trying to avoid that and make the stupid thing idle. So what we'll do is you want the transfer slots set to a square. I'll set them to a square. I won't touch that idle, and we'll keep drilling holes in it until it will actually idle. That's the only thing I know to do. Anyways, let me get my drill out and we'll drill some holes in this. All right, I got my transfer slot set to a square. I'll show you a close-up of that right here. And now what we're going to do is drill holes. You got to do one in each throttle blade. And you want to do it close, or at least on the side that your idle mixture is and your transfer slot. So I'm going to punch me a hole, or make a punch mark, approximately, put it right there. And we'll do one over here too. That right there, and then where are these? Right here. Gotta hold them some kind of way. And we're doing right here. Now, I got a 52 thousandths. I don't have, I was gonna do 50. Well, 52 is the closest I got. So it'll be all right. Let me run that out a little bit more than when I had it. We'll try it about right there. Hopefully that won't break. Before I drill these holes out, let me tell you a real quick story. I meant to tell you a minute ago, it just slipped my mind. It's not hard to do. Anyway, I was sitting out here on the highway after I've been running around town waiting to turn in on my road. I'd been sitting there, I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds. There was a car stopped behind me. Well, I just caught out of the corner of my eye in the rearview mirror, this car looked like he was turning left, going to try to go around me on the left. I was like, man, are you crazy? I got to turn left. Well, about a second after that, I caught out of the corner of my eye a new blue Chevrolet 4-wheel drive just come hauling by me on the right-hand side. There is no lane on the right-hand side. There's a pretty good ditch and a pretty good embankment. And I guess he wasn't paying attention. He run off the road through that big old ditch up on that embankment. That old truck was just a bouncing and carrying on. Somehow, he brought it back through that big old ditch up on the road. Kept on trucking. If he'd hit the car behind me and that car hit me, the old Forte would be no more, and I would probably be in the hospital, if not the morgue. Oh yeah, fellas, y'all pay attention when you're on the road. Anyways, let's get these holes drilled. Let us drill some holes real quick, like. Where was that? Right about there. All right, let me clean this up, blow this out. We'll put it on, see what it does. Let's get this old feller put back on and cross our fingers that our new fuel line setup is gonna work. Let me check in by hand real quick. All right, let me hook this vacuum line up, and then we'll back it outside and let it warm up and see what it's going to do. Just a quick friendly reminder about ways you can support the channel. We got merch. Link is in the description below. If you want a hat, t-shirt, coffee mug, magnet, stickers, sweatshirts, whatever you want, it's there. Yeah, go check that out. Also, still got the Patreon channel. I'm putting the videos, the new video each week will be put on Patreon also at the same time. That way you can go watch it over there ad-free. 2 separate tiers over there, $2.50 and $5. And then just started a YouTube membership last week before. And you'll get at least one update a week on what I'm working on, future projects, something like that, or just some random stuff that may have happened during the day that I think y'all might want to see. Anyways, go check that out. To join the membership, go to my YouTube page. There'll be a big join button up there. And there you go. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Fire in the hole. It's going to take a second to get the fuel back up. Well, I got it warmed up and it's sitting there idling. I think it's about 1,000 RPMmeters. Let's make sure. Yep, that's where it's at. But I had to turn the idle speed screw in one full turn to get it to do that. We don't have the hose big enough. And well, I got to think, well, let me show you this. There's a couple ways you can tell whether it needs more fuel or more air. Y'all seen me do this before with the carb cleaner. On the 40, we'd shoot carb cleaner in the carb, it would speed up. Well, that means it's running lean, it needs more fuel. Well, if you do that and it dies, then it means it's too much fuel or not enough air. Well, just watch. That dies down with just that little bit of fuel. So that confirms that it is, in fact, too much fuel. And you can try running your idle mixture screws in. I may do that here in a minute. I haven't fooled that yet. But watch this. This is another way to confirm that we need more air. I'm going to crack the secondary throttle blades. Watch it idle up. If they just had an adjustment on the secondary throttle blades, man, it'd make it so much easier. Let me keep fooling with it. We'll get it there eventually. It's going to be just like the 40. Long, drawn-out process. Probably take me the rest of the day. I will check in from time to time, let you know what I've done, and let you know if it helped or hurt. Anyways, I'll see y'all in a while. Wait a minute. I do believe I have solved the puzzle. Oh, yeah. Let me show y'all what I got right here on the bench. If you will recall, just a few seconds ago, I cracked open the secondary throttle blades. See them moving right there. This is extra carb, by the way. It's not the one that's on the old pile of junk. Anyway, just a few seconds ago, I cracked that open. She idled up. The reason it's doing that is, I told y'all, it needed more air due to that large cam. I'll explain that later You know what's going on there. Anyway, it wants more air. We crack that open. It allows more air. It revs up. And then I believe I said it sure would be nice if it had an adjustment screw or something to that effect. Well, looky here, looky here. Would you just look at it? See that little fella right there? That is, in fact, an adjustment screw on the secondary throttle plates. Yep. So what we're going to do, you can't get to it unless you pull the carb off. So let's go pull the carb off. Well, I'm going to take the 4 bolts loose and hopefully just pick it up, get under there with a little screwdriver, turn it. I don't know. We'll go full turn, see what it does. If that's too much, well, we'll back it off. If that ain't enough, we'll turn it some more. Let's go see what it does. We've almost got us a can for the 40, for an overflow tank. So I'll probably empty that here in a minute. And we might put that on, but let's get this little feller fixed first. I gotta make sure I go the right way. It's gonna be upside down, so I need to go to the left to screw that in. Let's pick it up, see if I can find it first. There it is. I gotta go to the left. I'm gonna go full turn. Ooh, it must be Loctited. There it goes. All right. There's a quarter, half, 3/4. There's a 1. Let me put it back together. We'll fire it up, see what it does. I did turn the idle speed screw back out 1 full turn, just in case you're wondering. Fire and hold. No, sir. Still won't idle. We may not be able to open them up enough. We may still have to drill holes in the throttle plates. I don't know how far open you can make the secondaries before it's too much. I don't know, fellas, but we're going to find out. Let me take it off and I'll run it in another full turn. We'll see what it does. All right, I want another full turn with it. Let's see if that's going to make it do right. That's a little much. We're at 1,500. Let me back it off half turn, see what it does. I'm sort of excited right now. I sure am. When you finally figure something out, it's just, well, it's an awesome feeling. There's a quarter. There's a half. All right. Firing a hole for the 972,164th time. That's about 700. It's fluctuating between 7 and 9. I think we can probably adjust that out. Let me go to turn the screws, see what it does. I'm gonna turn this idle speed screw, just see what it takes to get it to idle up. That's a quarter turn. Let's see where we're idling. We're idling at 1100. Well, I can turn that feller down a little bit. I don't mind adjusting it a little bit with that speed screw, but you don't want to do a whole lot. Let me turn her back down about 1/8 of a turn. Let's go in there and see where we're at. It sounded like it may have idled up, so no, it went back down about 800. I think we're in the ballpark. Let me fool with it a little bit, and I'm gonna let it sit here and get good and heat soaked. Shut it off. If it don't do the run on and it's still idle, I think we're okay. I've adjusted on it a little bit, and this is about as good as I'm gonna get it right now. It's bouncing between 800 and 900 RPM. That ain't bad. Let's put it in gear and see if it dies, because that is really aggravating. It's in a stoplight and it died. Yep. It's idling down about 400, but it's staying running. Let me go to forward gear. Yeah, about 500-600. It's gonna have to do for now. I'll just have to adjust on it as I go, because a carb, I don't think you can ever get them perfect. They're always changing. Anyways, let's shut her off and see if it keeps running or not. Oh yeah, fellas, I think we finally got this whole pile of junk where it'll sit here and idle. That is awesome. That, my friends, is awesome. Yes, sir. I love learning. Yeah, and when you finally figure something out like that that's been bothering you for months, it's just, well, it's awesome. Here's what I think is going on with these big cams, and I could be completely wrong. Probably am, but this is what I think. We know bigger cams draw less vacuum because it's got so much overlap, and that less vacuum means less airflow coming through the carb at idle. Well, less airflow, well, for some reason it still pulls the same amount of fuel out of the carb, but with the less air. I don't understand that part. But you give it basically a controlled vacuum leak, introduce air back into the system, your AFR gets right, it starts idling. And it fires right up now. Before, I'd have to crank 4 or 5 seconds. You know, it was hot. I'd have to crank 4 or 5 seconds and sometimes smash it to the floor like it was flooded. No, sir, she fires right up now. Pretty awesome. I will tell you this, I have learned quite a bit over the last 2 or 3 days on carbs. Well, it goes back to what I said yesterday or the day before. You have to know the anatomy of what you're working on. And by that I mean you have to know each and every part. Where is it at? And what does it do? Well, see, I didn't even know that little screw was there to adjust the primaries. I think I did. You know, I've seen it before, but it never registered in my brain to use that. Anyway, that's what I mean by anatomy. You got to know all the parts. What do they do? Where do they go? All that kind of stuff. And then you can start, you know, figuring out what's going on. But yeah, this excites me. When I finally figure something out, learn something, I love learning, fellas. When you stop wanting to learn, well, you're in bad shape. If you think you're too smart to learn, well, you're in bad shape, but something's going to come along and make you realize you ain't as smart as you think you are. No, sir. Anyway, this is awesome. I think here in a little while, I'm going to pull that Forte back in here and go to working on that and a little bit more, drilling those holes out a little larger. Hopefully 1 or 2 more drillings, and we'll have that where it needs to be. But yes, sir, this is awesome. The danged old Ford pile of garbage, silver bullet, at least you'll idle now. Let me say one more thing about what we just did. There's more than one way to do that. You got to introduce more air into the stream going into the motor to make that happen. Well, we started out drilling holes in the butterflies. I wish we wouldn't have now, because that carb will probably never run on anything except for something with a big cam. Anyway, that's one way you can do it. Another way is with the screw that we just adjusted, opening up that secondary butterfly, let more air in that way. You can probably open up one of the vacuum ports on the carburetor and maybe meter air through that some kind of way. I don't know. I don't know if the port would be big enough to help you out. I know the one on the back for the PCV is plenty big. Yeah, you might could put something in there like a little needle valve and introduce more air there. We might have to experiment with that sometime. Next motor we build with a big old carb, yeah, we might try that. Anyways, I'm going to get the old Forte in here and fool with it for a little while. Hopefully I'll get that figured out, and I'll come back tomorrow and tell y'all, hey, look at here. It's perfect. Tore the carb apart, drilled out the channel restrictor to 47 thousandths. We were at about 42 or 3. Put it back together, fired it up. I didn't see any improvement. Idle didn't come up. You pull the air cleaner top off, RPM still dropped. Not a lot, maybe 200 RPM, but it still dropped. Took it back apart, drilled out the idle feed restrictors. That's the little tube sticking out. It was at 39. I went to 41, put it back together. Still didn't see any improvement other than I could take the air breather off. It might drop 50 RPM now. My RPM's not coming up from the change, so I think we're I think we're as far as we're going to go with this. I think now we're probably going to be dealing with an actual vacuum leak around that throttle shaft. I won't know until I drive it on a hot day, cut it off. It still runs on, then yeah, that's what's going on. Only way to fix that, I can't find a new throttle shaft. You can buy the whole base with a shaft in it for $200. It's not worth that kind of money to fix that issue. I'm very happy that we've got the thing idling. Yes, it was aggravating to drive through town, constantly having to pat the gas, keep it running. Well, you see now she's idling at 800, just breezy, please. So we got her fixed. Oh yeah. Also, the old Ford, I took it down the road a little while ago, drove to Mama's to see how it would do. And sometimes, not always, it's got a pretty bad hesitation getting on the gas, taking off. Not crazy, just normal driving. Well, we have took care of the rich condition at idle. We leaned it out. Well, it may be too lean now and we need a bigger pump shot. Or, remember how the distributor, was acting stupid? It could be a timing issue because it don't really do it all the time. I may fool that, but I'm pleased. It's idling at 800. This one's idling at 800. We have accomplished both goals on them. Wonderful. I'm gonna shut her down. I'm gonna shut the shop down and going in the house. Hopefully, aluminum will be here tomorrow to build dude's what do you call that? Fan shroud. Hopefully that'll cure his issue, and then the world will be wonderful again. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Well, I got the old Forte back in here, so I reckon today let's make us a fan shroud. Maybe we can block off airflow on this one too, like we did dude, and make it get hot going down the road. I still ain't 100% sure how I'm gonna fix dude. I thought about just cutting out a square hole here and down yonder, in the blank spaces. Then I thought about just drilling a bunch of holes. That might look a little better, but you can't see it, so it don't really matter. Anyway, right now, let's get this radiator out here and build a shroud for this one. Well, there's a one hose. I bet there's going to be water come out of that. Let me move my bucket over. Oh, my knees. Oh, my knees. I got most of it on the floor and about 3 drops in the bucket, so that's good. Chomp it there. There's the wires. Let me get the bolts out of the way and we'll get this thing out of here. All right. Let me empty the rest of this water out of here and then we'll get it on the table over and look at it. Before we get started on this, let me show y'all something real quick. Remember the other day, I tried to weld some little tabs on the side of dude's radiator, and I told y'all I had lost the ability to TIG weld. That bothered me. Well, here's what I did a couple of days ago. I got some welding coupons off Amazon. They're 2x4, 1/8 inch thick. I got out here practicing the other night for a couple hours, and well, you see this weld here? That's the one I started on. It's a lap joint. That's it right there. And you see I practiced a bunch of beads here and there and everywhere. And then when I finally quit, these 2 beads were the final ones I did. They are mucho better than this garbage right here. What in the world? Yep. Just need a little practice is all it was. Yep. Anyways, let's get some measurements off this thing. Tall ways, we need 21 1/2 will do. And this way we need 17 3/8. Yeah, plus 2 inches. Because we got a 1 inch bend all the way around. So what I say, 19 3/8 by 23 1/2. All right, let's get some metal cut. All right, got her measured out. Make us a straight line through here. Just like that. And then this one here, it only needs about a 1/2 inch cut off of it. All right, let me get the saw out. Well, I got the metal cut, and Y'all would have seen that if I had remembered to turn the camera on, but just completely forgot. Yep. Y'all know how my brain is. It don't work most of the time. Now we need a 1-inch bend on all 4 corners, so that's a little over. No, it ain't. It's a little under, actually. But I need to mark 1 inch, so we'll go right here. Right here. I'll do the same on all 4 sides. Let me notch these corners out. Chompa, 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 and chompa. All right, I gotta get my brake press set up now. I just line these edges up with the edge of the table and then put my hold down here right even with that mark and go to clampy clamping. Now let's go to whoopity whooping it with a Hummer. Last one, I gotta put my die in here. Bend it up instead of down like we did the last one. Oh, dude. Ta-da! Well, I got the fan where it's going to go. It can't be centered on the shroud because our water pump pulley's right here. So the fan has to scoot up. It's 1.5 inches from the top of here to the top of the fan. And I got her centered here. I got it marked on all 4 corners. So now what I got to do is find center, mark it, drill a hole, get my little wire for the plasma cutter and determine what diameter circle I need and cut it out. Well, I've determined all of my dimensions. I got my center found right here. So we're going to put this here screw dead center. That right there. Wrap this wire around it. Just like this right here. Let's go ahead and make us a mark all the way around it. Actually, what I need to do, I forgot. I got to pull this plastic off because it won't plasma cut with all that plastic on it. So let me do that real quick. Well, this stuff don't peel very easily. Oh, you know what I just did? I took away my mark. You moron. I know it's 7.5 inches, so let's put them back. 1 right there. Now, let me recheck my measurements real quick. Yeah, 15, so half that, 7.5. All right, so let me make a mark here. Just so, you know, we know where we need to be when we go to plasma cutting. All right, let me get the plasma cutter out. They don't want to slide on that aluminum very good. Let me try going the other way. Maybe that'll help me out some. It's a lot easier to pull it to you. Ta-da! Now I got to determine, let's see, which way does this go? Short side's up here, so we're doing it like this right here. All right, that's close enough right there. Let me put my little feet on here and make some marks. We got to drill some holes and then do some rib nuts. Well, I've lost a rib nut. I only had enough. Where in the world could that have went to? I found it! I found it! Kaplow. 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 If I had to do a lot of these, I'd get me a socket on my gun. Put it on this nut here and spin this off quickly. All right, that is done. Now let me get the radiator back up here and sit this on it. We gotta make us some mounting tabs. Doeth it fit? No, sir. We're hitting our little water neck down here, so I need to make a cutout for that. Let me get it centered up. We'll make us a mark. Oh, we're gonna cut her out. Right there, right there. Probably something like that right there. I'm gonna try to do this with 10 snips. Does that help us out? Oh yeah. Look at there. Let me clean that up so I don't cut an artery and I bleed to death. Do it fit now? Oh yeah, that's mucho betero. Now I need to make some tabs for the sides. Let me get some measurements. I'll cut them out and I'm going to attempt to weld it. We'll see how that goes. Well, I got my little tabs made right here. I got everything cleaned off where I'm going to weld. I'm going to do a little preheating. Aluminum really loves to soak up heat. Well, heat's what you need to weld with. That's why you have to have such a big machine to weld aluminum, because it needs a lot of power because it soaks up so much heat. So I'm going to do a little preheating in this area, and maybe that'll help us out a little bit. That's probably nowhere near enough, but let's see if that helps us out. Let's see if I can get her tacked. Yeah, that's not pretty. That's not pretty at all. But it is welded. That's awesome. Let me get this one down here in place. Well, they are welded on. And they, you know, they look like garbage. I ain't gonna lie to you fellas, they're ugly. I'm not even gonna show you that up close because it's terrible. This is the last one I did, and I finally started getting the hang of the angle and all that. It looks decent. It's good for backyard butchery anyways. I will tell you this, preheating does help. That one over there, the second one I did not preheat, and it wouldn't hardly weld. So, yeah. Preheating is your friend when it comes to aluminum. Anyways, what I'm going to do now is drill a pilot hole through right here, put some screws in it. Then it'll be time to put it back on the car. All right, I'm going to go stick it in the car and see if I got to do any modifications or if it's going to be good like it is. Will it or won't it? By George, I think we got it. We're barely missing our water pump pulley. Oh yeah. Let me get this bolted in, wired up, filled up. We'll get it outside and see how it does. Well, it's up to operating temperature. I think it's sitting on, I don't really know. Is that mark 180? It's the mark before 190. Anyway, we're gonna let it sit here for a little bit. I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes, see what it does, and then we might get in it, take it down the road, and make sure it's not going to get hot running down the road, too. Let us go down the road, man. I'm running out of room around this place. It ain't moved off that right there since we left the house, so I think we're pretty good. Let's shut it off, see if it still runs on, or we fix that. Oh, it did just a tick. Oh yeah, I think we're pretty good. Well, I do believe we got the old Forte Perfectamundo, if you will. Yes, sir. It cools great sitting still. It cools great going down the road. It'll sit there and idle at 800 RPM all day. When you turn it off, there's no run on anymore. It runs great. Yes, the Forte, I think we got it. I got old dude back in here now. If you will recall, last week we solved the heat problem with it sitting idling with this setup here. But now I got it blocked off too much. Going down the road, it gets hot. Or, well, it warms up. It didn't get hot, but it does get warmer. So, about the only thing I know to do is come in here and cut some holes here in this area and down in there too. So, let me get these fans out of the way so I can stick me a board or something in there so I don't jab my radiator with the drill. We'll drill us a few holes. I'm glad I bought that rib nut gun. Well, this right here is very, very, very convenient. Oh, I got a Phillips screw in that one, don't I? All right, let me see if I can get this one out of the way. I'll get something in here, and I think I'll determine what size, but I think we're just going to use a hole saw here, cut them out. I need my drill to drill them holes. I've been searching for 10 minutes, cannot find it anywhere. Then it hit me. Yesterday, I took my old John Deere tractor to Adams, Tennessee for the Threshman show this weekend. And, you know, of course, I had to hook up my big trailer to take it. And that's when I thought, yeah. Well, let me just show you. There it is, right here. Yep. I use it to run my legs up and down on the trailer. And it rode right there all the way to Adams and back home. What in the world? That's probably how I lost that DeWalt. Anyways, let's get back in here and drill some holes. Well, I've done some calculating and drawing out, and I think I know how to lay this out now. So I'm going to lay it out. We're going to have 2 holes high, 4 this way, of 1 1/4 inch. I'm using a hole saw, by the way, not a drill. Anyway, let me lay it out, and I got to do some punch marks. Because, you know, I want it to be somewhat symmetrical looking. Of course, there's math involved, too. And you know how me and math sometimes don't get along. But anyways, let me get this here laid out. I got to do the up and down a little different because I can't get my calipers in here to slide it up and down. So I'm using this here square. And let's see, how am I going to do this? Just like this right here. It ain't got to be exact. That's the first row. 875 right there. Make us another mark. Just like that right there. Get our square. Put it up there, line that up with that there mark. Marky mark, and there we go. I got 2 more rows to do, and then we'll drill them out. Well, I think I got it laid out, so we're going to make us some punch marks. All right, now that we got them marked, I just realized I got a problem. This drill bit's way too long. That's going to jam into my radiator. I got cardboard back here to keep this from, you know, hitting the fins, but that right there, yeah, that's way too long. Let me cut that off real quick. All right, fingers crossed that I don't jam this into my radiator and ruin it. Now we'll slow it down. All right, there's one. Let's do one directly below it. See what it's going to look like. my cutter is getting clogged up with aluminum. When you're working with aluminum, something like this, or like on a mill, or even a lathe, it will stop your cutter up, or the aluminum will stick to it. So you spray it with what do you call it, WD-40, and it'll stop that. Let me get some. I'll spray the cutter too. Now let's give her a try. Yeah, see how much quicker that cut? That first one took 30, 45 seconds. That y'all saw the whole cut there with this one. Anyways, let's get the rest of them cut. Hopefully I'm not jamming that drill bit into my radiator. Let me pull this cardboard out and just see real quick. Well, let me pull this cardboard out and see real quick. Well, I can't get it to come out. Let me get some chanty locks. I just want to see if it's went through this cardboard. It has not, so we're good. I want to make sure I'm not hitting the radiator. Anyway, this cardboard is hanging on all them screws is what the problem is. Anyways, let me continue on. I'll be back in a little bit. Ta-da! I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit because they're a little bit burred. I know you won't be able to see it once I get the hood latch on, but I still like to clean it up. Get the burrs off. I need to get me one of them deburring sets. Well, it looks like a pick, but it's got a cutting edge on it. You can run it in the inside here and clean them burrs up. I got to get me a set of them sometime. Well, there's the first batch of holes. That's got to help. Yep. Now down here, I ain't got a whole lot of room, and this was aggravating. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this bigger hole saw. I don't even know what size it is. Let me see if I can see. 2.5, I think. I think I might just do 2 down here at the bottom. 2 bigger holes. See what that does. And then we'll put it back together and, take him outside, make sure he's going to sit here and idle cool, and then take it down the road and see what it does. Let me cut them holes out and I'll be back. Before I cut them holes out, let me update you on my air con right here. Remember me telling you I was going to leave them running 24/7 for a week or two, and then have them come on a couple hours before I come out here, and then turn them off at night, and then compare the electricity usage. Let me tell you, fellers, I got an app on my phone, and it lets me see my electricity usage. And after 2 days of leaving them on all the time, no, sir, that ain't happening. Absolutely not. That one, the new one, has got Wi-Fi on it where I can program it with an app, and it comes on a couple hours before I normally get out here. Well, the older one from last year does not have that, so I'm fixing to buy the Wi-Fi dongle for it, and then that way I can have it come on when this in here does too, and then by the time I get out here, it ought to be pretty cool. Because right now that one there by itself, it can only get it down to about 80, because that's what that one over there could do too. Anyway, I just thought I'd update y'all on that. Let me get these holes cut out. Well, I'm having to use my little 90-degree drill. I don't remember which one of y'all sent that to me, but this has been quite handy on more than one occasion, so I do appreciate it. Anyway, I got one hole drilled out. Of course, that brace is right in the dad blame way. So what am I going to do here? I ain't cutting that brace. Oh, it bolts. Let me unbolt it real quick, like. Now, will you please get out of my way? I hope I don't break that. Anyways, can I drill this out now? Now I gotta put it on slow speed and hit it with some W and D. Ta-da! There's 2 holes in the bottom. If this doesn't do, we still got room for 2 more big ones. We can put some small ones here, put some small ones down in there. But if we keep putting holes in it, it's going to defeat the purpose of having a shroud. So hopefully this is going to take care of going down the road and it hasn't affected it, you know, sitting idling. Let me put it back together. We'll pull it outside and let him warm up and just see how he does sitting there idling. Then we'll take him down the road. Well, in true MLS fashion, for whatever reason, the fans, well, they just don't want to come on. It's sitting on about 195, 200, and neither fan is running. So let me pull the hood latch back off, see what we got going on. Well, I decided to shut her off, turn it back on, and well, the fans are on now. I know the controller was on because I looked up under there and I could see the lights on. I don't know. MLS, Chinese garbage, whatever you want to blame it on. I'm gonna let it sit here 15, 20 minutes and make sure our extra holes ain't gonna affect us at idle temperature. Then we'll take him down the road and see what he does. Well, the little fella's been sitting here approximately 15 minutes idling. And well, let me just show you. Would you look at that? Would you just look at it? It's come up just a little. No, it's actually about where it was. It's on the camera, it's showing it on 190, but in real life, it's the mark before 190. I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, I need to go to the post office, check my P.O. box, see if any of y'all has sent me anything. It's about a 10-mile drive. It'd be a good test to see if we've helped it out as far as cooling going down the road. So let's hit the road. Goodness gracious, it's hot in here. Let's get this thing going down the road, get some air moving. Still doing it, fellas. It's wanting to die right now. I don't know what to do about it. Yeah, it won't hardly take no gas. I don't know what's going on with that. Ain't got a clue. I have to do some more studying on that, but it just won't run. 10-mile trip, it finally come up just a little bit past 190. Probably need to take a little longer trip because we may not have it fixed, fellas. I don't know. It's just all of a sudden, as soon as I got here, shot up to 212. I don't think the fans are on. I don't know what's going on with them. Well, just got out of the post office fixing to leave. We're sitting on about 212. That means, you know, it's fairly warm. Well, watch this, I'm gonna hit the throttle. It's not acting up. I don't know. Apparently it's not heat that triggers it. It's sitting there idling for a while. So I got some homework to do. Speaking of home, that's where I'm headed. As soon as I stop, this is where it goes. I'm starting to think the fans have cut off. I don't know what's going on with the fans. I think they just came on. Let's see if it cools off. It's almost like my temperature setting on my fans has gotten crazy. It's been sitting here, I don't know, 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, and it ain't wanting to cool down as fast as I think it should. We're still, it's probably 200 plus, but let me pop the hood. I'm gonna pull the breather off, hit the throttle. I'm gonna have the camera over the carb. I guarantee it'll start flooding out. What have we learned today about Dude? Well, I'll tell you what I learned. I ain't got a clue. No, sir, sure don't. We do know that he would sit there just fine and dandly and cool himself whilst he was idling on a hot day. When we took him down the road, he would get hot, meaning we didn't have enough airflow whilst we were going down the road. So we cut holes in the radiator. I was afraid that might affect the cooling at idle. Well, you know, he sat there 15 minutes and set below 190, probably about 180 or so. Cooled just fine. Took off down the road. Temperature went up to about 190. Drove 10 miles. And when I started slowing down to get to the post office, the temperature shot up to, I don't know, 200, 210, somewhere in there. Then when I got back home, you know, about the time I turned on my road, it shot up to about 212. It don't make any sense. Pulled him in here and let him sit there 15 minutes, and he finally cooled down to around 200 or so. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we've hurt our idle cooling with the hose. It does seem better going down the road because it didn't get hot. He may need more hose. I don't know, fellas. And I'll tell you this too. Just as soon as I turned the camera off at the post office, well, he went nuts. Yep. Wouldn't hardly run. Finally got him pulled out on the road there. Went about 50 foot. It just shut off. Like it did the other day. You know, I told y'all I thought that might be due to the ignition switch. No, sir. Looked at the volt gauge. Still had 12 volts. So it's the carb, and I don't understand it. I don't know why it does it. I don't know why it does what it does. It's flooding. Well, you know, I showed y'all when we got here. Popped the hood, took the air cleaner off. And, you know, he'd been sitting there 15 minutes idling. Hit the throttle, and you saw the gas just dumping in. How can you go from flooding to just shutting off? I know, it's another one of life's mysteries here at the MLS capital of the world. Yep. Not sure what I'm going to keep fooling with it, but I'm going to do it off camera. And if I ever figure it out, well, I'll let y'all know. For now, well, I had one notification at the post office. meaning the package was too big to fit in a post office box. So I'll go tomorrow and get it because they were closed. Right now, I got a few things I got in the mail a week or two ago. Let's look at them real quick. First box. This is from Aussie. He has sent me a lot of stuff over the last couple years. What did he send me? I think it's rod bearings. I believe there's some main bearings in here, or that may be, yeah, main bearings there. And what else is in here? I forgot. That's more bearings. He sent me a whole bag full of power valves. And then there's a Holley rebuild kit under here too. Also, he left me a little note. And Aussie, if you want to send those pistons on, send them on. Hopefully I'll run across a block that has been unmolested and you know, it's 4-inch bore, and we can go ahead and put them pistons in there. He's said he's got a set of 302 pistons. I would love to build a little 302. Absolutely would. So if you want to send them on, and maybe eventually we'll find a block. Secondly, this is from Mark. He's in Kentucky. He sent me some latches for Jolly Green Giant. I need one of these because the third door has got to where it won't latch. So appreciate that, Mark. Appreciate that, Aussie, for that stuff. And then this is from, well, there's no name. It just says Fayetteville AR. Is that Arkansas? Maybe there's a note inside. Let me see real quickly. No, sir, I don't see a note, but I do see something pretty doggone neat. Little portable bandsaw. That could come in handy. Oh, yeah. Milwaukee brand, too. That's pretty nice. Whoever sent me that, I wish you'd put your name on here, but whoever sent me that, appreciate that a bunch. There's one more thing. Let me show y'all. It's a 3x5 sign that says, proudly built in the USA, MLS Industries. I had to look at the email because there was no name on the box. Jeff sent me that. I don't know where he's from. He shipped it from wherever they made it. May have been Amazon. I don't remember, but yeah, we might have to find us a place somewhere, hang that up. Maybe I'll figure out a spot. Anyways, appreciate that, Jeff, Mark, the fella that sent the bandsaw, and Aussie. Appreciate y'all sending me stuff. If you would like to send me something, look in the description below the video right here. Down at the very bottom there will be my P.O. Box address. I will be awaiting whatever you would like to send me. Well, I reckon it's time to wrap this week's video up. What have we learned? What have we accomplished? I think we've accomplished quite a bit. We got the dang old silver Bullit, where it'll idle pretty good. Got that little hesitation I told y'all about, but I think I can tune that out. I don't think it'll be nothing major. The Forte, perfectamundo. It really is. Yeah, I like driving that car now because I don't have to constantly try to keep it running. Yep, pretty nice. Dude, oh dude, I don't know. He's become the problem child now. Y'all know me. I'm not giving up. I'll get it figured out. I might try another carb on him. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I'll do that off camera, like I said. And if I figure him out, well, I'll let y'all know. So I'll be looking for that. Anyways, appreciate y'all watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like, comment, subscribe. Share it with your friends. And until next time, go do something. Blur.